Welcome, I'm Dr. Janine Bowring, naturopathic doctor, and today I'm discussing how to treat Candida in 8 steps. So I want you to stay tuned right till the end because that's my favorite step, something that you have not heard about how to deal with this in a natural way. So tip number 1 is to detoxify. So yes, doing a full body detox using herbal medicines. I'm going to share some of my favorites with you now to really get at that internal toxicity. So Candida, we know, gives off toxins, up to 70 different toxins in our body when we have a chronic Candida issue. So it's really important to target that toxicity by focusing on liver, our kidneys, as well as our skin, our lymphatic system, our blood. We really want to do a good full body detox in a gentle yet effective way to get those toxins out. Some of my favorite herbal medicines include milk thistle, which is great for the liver and detoxifying the liver, as well as dandelion root, which is great for the liver as well. Parsley is fantastic for the kidneys. Chlorella helps to trap heavy metal toxins, and often heavy metal toxicity and Candida go hand in hand, and a mineral deficiency can set you up for this being a worse scenario in your body. So really important that you are trapping or chelating those heavy metals, and that's why the blue-green algae of chlorella is a great natural way to do this. Now, tip number 2 of how to treat Candida naturally is probiotics. So we can't talk about Candida without talking about having a healthy microbiome, and that's why probiotics are so important. So whether it is from foods, so that could be a yogurt or a vegetarian coconut yogurt or kefir is great, but also sauerkraut is fantastic. And another great probiotic food is kimchi. So the Korean sort is fermented, so this is a great way again to make sure that you are getting those active live cultures in your gut to help your healthy microbiome and to make sure that you don't have that Candida growth happening. And let's go on to tip number 3 of how to treat Candida. So this is doing parasite cleansing, and this is something that I recommend along with detoxification at least 3 to 4 times a year, which is really helpful again at getting those toxins out, but also now targeting those organisms of that Candida, especially in that hyphal form, to be sure that you don't set yourself up for that chronic Candida issue. So some of my favorite herbs here are oregano, which is known to kill Candida, as well as black walnut, which is very effective. I love cloves as well as part of a parasite cleanse because, when we talk about other parasites and things, we want to make sure that we're killing the eggs of the parasites as well, and that's why cloves are really a fundamental part of that. But also Artemisia. So this is a herbal medicine that's known as a natural anti-malarial, but also is really effective at killing off those bad organisms. Tip number 4 is to make some dietary changes. And this is important because we know that sugar feeds Candida. So the more sugar that we are feeding ourselves with, the more we're feeding that Candida, and then it can turn into this more invasive form. So really watching the sugar in the diet is an essential part of getting rid of that Candida, as well as alcohol, because we know that alcohol is fermented, but it also has sugar most times. So decreasing that in the diet is important, as well as foods that contain yeast. So anything that's leavened with regular yeast, you want to limit that a little bit at the beginning when you're doing a Candida protocol naturally to get rid of, that susceptibility to that Candida to start to overgrow. And also you want to increase your fiber in your diet. So, fresh raw vegetables is one of the best ways. There's also soluble and insoluble fibers from other sources like psyllium seed husks, which can be a very effective way at helping to increase your fiber. Tip number 5 is to boost your immune system. So certainly if you have a chronic Candida issue, your immune system could be compromised, and that's why you can't get over it. And especially if it's chronic yeast infections, urinary tract infections, chronic sinus infections, this would be an indication that your immunity is suffering. And one of the things that I love to do is cold therapy. So whether that is exposing your body in cold temperatures outside here in Canada, that's not so hard to do in our winters, or taking a cold shower, or even doing cold dunks and you have to probably work up to this one, but doing that can be really helpful at strengthening your immune system. Tip number 6 is to take digestive enzymes. Now, digestive enzymes are known to help to break down a biofilm, and a biofilm is created by this more invasive form of Candida to protect itself. And this is something that you definitely want to be able to break down and penetrate. It's almost like a mucousy type of coating, and that's where digestive enzymes are so important. And if you take it as a supplement, then you're getting a high amount of those enzymes to be able to break down that biofilm, so that, and also weakening the outside walls of that Candida, so that the parasite cleansing herbs can really get in and do their magic at killing off these, invasive forms of Candida. So I promise that we'll share some links below in this video so that you can get your hands on a good high quality enzyme product. Tip number 7 is natural sunlight. So if you've heard me speak before, you know that I really am a big proponent of getting natural sunlight on our skin, in our eyes, especially first thing in the morning. To look at that sunrise is really important to set up our body and our immune system and all of our neural circuits in the right way to have a healthy day. But also getting that natural vitamin D exposure goes a long way at helping our immune system as well. And then we know that immunity is very much linked to having any type of chronic infection, and that's very much the case when we're talking about chronic Candida issues and yeast infections as well. And tip number 8 is something that maybe you haven't heard about chronic Candida issues. So my tip here is to think about parasitic relationships, because that mind-body connection, and this is what I found with my patients over the years, was the ability for them to sustain parasitic people or relationships in their lives that, they had no issue with, and they allowed for that to happen. And we can all maybe relate to meeting some people or having people in your life that drag and take from you. And that's the whole definition of a parasite, is that something that is taking from you and you're not gaining any advantage from that parasite. So that's just food for thought. I want you to think about that for a minute, because if you're suffering, or somebody who is suffering with chronic Candida issues, that this may ring true for you. It may sort of give you that aha moment that that was the missing link. So I hope that you can do something proactively about that, about any type of parasitic or unhealthy relationship that you may be in, and that will really go a long way to helping your chronic Candida issues. So I hope to hear from you in the comments. I mean, this is something that you probably haven't heard before, and I'd love to open up that dialogue with you. So leave your questions in your comments below. Be sure to share this video as well, and please give me a big thumbs up. I truly appreciate all of your support. If you're new here, welcome into my channel. Be sure that you're subscribed by also turning on your notifications by clicking that bell, and click all notifications so you get my newest and latest uploads that I upload every single day. And remember to always take good care of your health and do it naturally. Thanks for watching today.